Hey, welcome to the channel, The Pop Enthusiast. I am Paul, and in this video, we're going to take a look at all of the current Mortal Kombat pops that exist in celebration of the new movie that was recently released, which I did just see, and I found it very entertaining. It did a really nice job of capturing the essence of the video game as best as you can in a movie. You're not going to get the greatest storyline, but it was very entertaining. The fight scenes were awesome. The casting was great. So check it out on HBO Max if you haven't already. So since this movie has been released, let's take a look at all of the existing current Mortal Kombat Funko Pops out of box. But before we get into it, I do want to say that this video is sponsored by Mercari, the selling app where you can buy and sell all sorts of stuff. I do. If you don't have an account, check it out. I do have a link below to my account where you can sign up and get some free money towards spending on Mercari. So check it out. All right, so let's take a look at these pops. Here we go with the Mortal Kombat pops out of box. So these are not the oldest of the Mortal Kombat pops. These just came out, but these four next four I'm going to show you are the classic versions that really were easy to pick up. I picked these all up for about $4 a piece on deep discount. They didn't sell very well apparently. Here is the classic version of Liu Kang. So if you saw the movie, he looked a little bit different than this, but the original pops kind of captured the look of the video game, which came out in the 90s, I believe, and I remember playing it on the Super Nintendo and the arcade as well. Then here we have classic Raiden. So he's shooting out some lightning bolts. So unlike in the movie, not to spoil things, but Raiden does fight. He is a character you can play from the very first Mortal Kombat, even though in the movie he's kind of depicted as one of the gods and he's not able to take part really in the fighting. So I'm sure that'll change if more movies come out. But here's the classic version of Raiden. There was a GameStop exclusive where he was just in a different pose, and I didn't pick that one up. I passed on that one. Next up we have Scorpion. So this is the classic version of Scorpion where he's throwing that blade that he has that they really depicted nicely in the movie. It was really neat to see those fight scenes with this weapon. But these are really kind of plain looking, like they looked in the initial video game. Nothing really too fancy about this Scorpion or about Sub-Zero. So here he is kind of shooting out some of his ice, which they did a nice job of that in the movie as well. But this is the classic version of Sub-Zero. And then I think this is part of the classic line, or it might be Mortal Kombat X, which I'll show you those in a second. But here's the 6-inch pop Goro. So this was really neat. This was a GameStop exclusive, and I snagged this as soon as it came out. I don't know how he might be easy to get. I'm not sure if you don't have him already. But here is kind of the classic version look anyway of Goro. So they did a really neat job. He's a really freaky character. So he was in the initial first Mortal Kombat game. He was the boss before the boss, essentially. So he was the boss before Shang Tsung, I think was his name, and Goro and Shang Tsung are both in the movie that just came out as well. So here's Prince Goro. Now, not really part of the first wave or that second classic wave of pops, but since they don't have another version of her, I'm going to include her in here. This is Katana. So she does look very classic. I think it might be technically the Mortal Kombat X version, but she does look kind of like she fits with the other classic characters. But here is Katana. Now she is really the only other character besides the other 5 that I showed you that they've made. They've just made other variants of those other characters, except for Melina, which we'll look at some of the movie pops that just came out in a little bit later. We'll look at that photo. But now let's take a look at some Mortal Kombat X pops. So the first one, here's Liu Kang, Mortal Kombat X. So this looks closer to the movie version of him, I think, that just came out. But here's Liu Kang, Mortal Kombat X version, and then here's the classic Liu Kang, just to compare the two. Here's Mortal Kombat X Raiden, which looks a little different. He doesn't have the lightning bolts like he does in the classic version, but looks fairly similar with some differences. Next up here is Scorpion. So he does not have his weapon showing. This does have a chase variant that I think maybe has the weapon. I don't have the chase variants. They really don't look too much different than the common pop, so I usually pass on those. But here's the Mortal Kombat X version of Scorpion, and then the Mortal Kombat X Sub-Zero again has a chase version with him, I think, shooting ice. Passed on that one. But here's a neat detail on the back that you wouldn't see if you didn't take this pop out of the box. So he's got these straps behind the helmet, or behind his mask here. And I think it was GameStop came out with a 2-pack. So we have the kind of Sub-Zero ice version here, and then we have Scorpion. I think this is Scorpion. I could be wrong on that. He does have a blue outfit, but I'm pretty sure it's Scorpion, kind of with the flaming head. I don't remember what this is about. I don't believe I ever played Mortal Kombat X. There was many different versions of the game, but these came in a 2-pack from GameStop. And then finally we have Scorpion, kind of with his firehead version, where one of his finishing moves, where he kind of rips off his mask and then blows fire and kind of crisps the opponent. One of his fatalities. So there's a lot of cool pops. Maybe they will now that the movies come out, but there's a lot of cool pops they can make with the Mortal Kombat line that they haven't even put out yet, and many cool variations of these pops that they can make based on the different fatalities and finishing moves that these characters have. So this was, I think, a Hot Topic exclusive. So there's the out-of-box look at the Mortal Kombat Wave pops that currently exist. So here's a photo of the current movie versions that just were released that I probably won't pick up except for the GameStop exclusive Melina. She looks really cool, and they don't have another Melina pop, so I'll definitely add her to my collection for that. But the other pops, so far, I'm probably going to pass on. They look pretty plain. I think, there's Cole, which is a new character in the pop world, but I just not really feeling the movie version. There's a Scorpion, Sub-Zero. There's a Sonya Blade, which they don't have a pop of before, but again, the movie version, I'm not really feeling that one either. And then there's a Sub-Zero that looks really similar to the one I just showed you from Mortal Kombat X, so I'm going to pass on that. And then there's a Scorpion that his human name, I guess, is Hanzo, and so they talk about that in the movie. And so there's a chase variant of him, kind of with this part of his mask off. So, it's fine. They're not that. There's a Walmart kind of crouching pose version, and then a glow-in-the-dark Sub-Zero. So, for the most part, besides Melina, I'm going to pass on the whole line. Maybe they'll come out with some other cool movie versions, but I'm really waiting for more classic game version Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's one of the very few video game lines for Funko Pops that I collect, in addition to like Street Fighter, Mega Man, games from my childhood that are more nostalgic versus a lot of the games that are out now. So if they do come out with some more cool pops, I might pick them up, but comment below. Let me know if you're interested in these new movie pops. Did you see the movie, and what did you think on HBO Max? And of course, if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe below. I appreciate your support. If you have any ideas for future videos, feel free to put that in the comments as well. And if you're looking for a action-packed, slight story, very gory movie tonight, check this movie out on HBO Max. We'll see you next time.